Okay, so I am here in the web version of AutoCAD, and I want to create a new drawing, but I don't want to have it stored in the cloud on AutoCAD server, which is really where these drawings here are being stored right now. So I can basically put those right in Google Drive. So I'm going to click on Google Drive. We will add this in. I will have to give access. So I want to allow that uh, this app to access my drive. So I'm going to go right down here, navigate through to the Intro to Industrial Tech class, and right here is my AutoCAD 2D folder. So I'll click on that. And now I can go ahead and create a new drawing, and it's going to save this drawing in my uh, drive folder. So I'm going to name this settings because we need to talk about and go through these settings. Notice the drawing units. I have two styles. I've got metric or imperial. We will always be using imperial, so make sure that that is selected and then hit open. So I now have my screen. We've already talked about the model space versus layout. We've talked about the draw panel, the annotate panel, the modify panel, and all of the tools that are in each one of those particular panels. And we've also gone through and talked about object snaps here, which is called OSNAP, object tracked orthopolar. And I mentioned to have all of these turned off. And remember, if you left click on and that means it's that particular function is on, but we want those to be off right now. Now, I am going to click the arrow next to OSNAP and go to settings because I want to set some of these settings. So this will be the first thing that you do on every particular drawing that we start. We'll go your preferences, light or dark. You can choose on that depending, play around with it to see that will be a dark background versus a light dark background. Tracking is your polar tracking. Object snaps are all the different object snaps. And the main setting that we're going to be looking at right here is units because you will need to save these. So I'm going to go ahead with units. We will set these to decimal. Notice I've got scientific, decimal, engineering, architectural, and fractional. So we want to use decimals. And we don't want this. This is what we refer to as a four-place decimal. We don't want a four-place decimal. That's too tight of a tolerance. So we can just go ahead. We'll set this to three-place decimal for right now. Decimal degrees is fine for our angular dimensions, and precision of 0 is fine there as well. So now let's look at one more thing. Navigation, zoom direction, standard or reverse. Just leave it as standard, so you'll kind of confuse yourself if you check it to reverse. So we'll keep that at standard, and we will go done. So now that is our settings so that we just established so that we have everything in here the way we need it. Now we have to save this then. So notice right up here in my Google Drive, it has already saved this file into Google Drive as settings, settings.dwg. So if I go and create anything else in here, uh, if I start to draw some lines, then I would need to come right up here to save and hit that save button. So if there's the arrow right next to it, I can also save as, and then I could rename this. So I have settings, and then I save that. Say I want to go in and let's go back here now and let's change these settings. So now I'm going to under units, let's say I want to make these architectural units. So I'll keep that, and we'll just go 0 feet 0 inches. So this is my architectural units. I will click done. Now if I click save, that's going to save the file settings with architectural um, units instead of my uh, inch units that I want. So in order, I'm going to save this though, so I have this template. So I'll go to Save As. Notice it's putting it still in the same file folder. So this is the navigation, Google Drive, Intro to Industrial Tech 2020, AutoCAD 2D. So it's looking to see and saying, okay, here's where the file is. This is the one that we want. Now I'm going to save this. Instead of saving it as settings, I'm going to save it as architectural. Architect settings. And we'll hit save. Okay. So now I have this saved as architect settings. So I should have two files now in this. Let's go back and click here. We'll go out of it. Notice I've got bookcase and I've got architect settings. Let me go ahead and open this back up again. So we'll open that. And let me come back here. Let's go back and change these settings again. So back to my units. I'm going to change these back to decimal. And I want the 3-place decimal. So we'll click Done. And again, I'm going to go to File, Save As. And we will just save this one as Settings. So Settings. And I'll hit Save. Oh, and you get that. So we'll reload. So if you have that, it might happen where you have to go back in and recreate it. I imagine that this is just some glitches, or you've got a lot of people trying to use the AutoCAD web app on there. So, all right, so now notice it's architectural settings. So let's go ahead and let's double check. So, oh, it turned on my different object snap and my object tracker, so we'll turn those off. Let's go back now to settings, back to units. So my decimal units, 3-place. Yep, we're definitely seeing a glitch here. But that's okay. You guys get the point. You might have to go back in a couple of times if it does bomb out on you, just like it did. Don't get frustrated. Just have patience. Um, this is definitely a weird year, and we're going to have some of these different glitches as we go. So, but you'll see here, I do have that architectural settings drawing file. I've got my bookcase file, and these are saved in my AutoCAD. So let's go ahead. Rather than do the save as, let's just go ahead and create a new drawing. And we'll type this in as settings. So get the imperial units. We'll open this up. Okay. Gonna come right down here to my settings, and let's go right now and see if we can change it. All right, decimal. Change this to 3-place instead of the 4-place. Click done, and we'll go just hit save. Make sure that we save that drawing. So there you go. We've got that. Now let's go back in and see. There we have it. So now we've got the settings.dwg, architect settings.dwg. So I can use either one of those files to open it up where it's already got those in there for me. I've saved them in my Google Drive, so you have access to this. You can always pull that up and start from there if need be.